Welcome to our channel. Today, we delve into the dark and chilling world of hitchhiking horror stories. Imagine you're driving down a deserted highway, the only sound the hum of your engine and the whisper of the wind. You see a lone figure on the side of the road, thumb outstretched, pleading for a ride. Buckle up and hold on tight as we unravel 4 true hitchhiking horror stories that will leave you questioning the darkness that lurks within seemingly ordinary encounters.
Our first story takes us back to the fall of 1969, to the sun-drenched state of Florida, a place known for its beautiful beaches and warm weather. It was here, amidst the palm trees and ocean breeze, where the air was filled with the scent of salt water, that 25-year-old Mary Shotwell Little vanished without a trace, leaving behind a mystery that would baffle investigators for decades. Mary, a young woman with her whole life ahead of her, was full of dreams and aspirations. She was hitchhiking from her home in Massachusetts to visit her sister in Georgia, a journey she had been looking forward to. She never made it. On October 14th, Mary was last seen at a gas station in North Carolina, asking for directions south, seemingly confident in her travel plans. Witnesses described her as being in good spirits, smiling and chatting with the attendant, seemingly unaware of the danger that lurked just around the corner, a danger that would soon change everything. She was offered a ride by a group in a van, a common sight on the roads back then, but politely declined, choosing instead to continue her journey on foot, trusting in her own 2 feet. That, my friends, was the last confirmed sighting of Mary Shotwell Little. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, but there was no sign of Mary. The trail went cold and hope began to fade. The investigation, hampered by limited technology and the transient nature of hitchhiking, faced numerous challenges, hitting dead end after dead end, with each lead turning into a frustrating obstacle. Her family, clinging to hope, refused to give up, never gave up searching for her, holding on to the belief that she might still be found. But the young woman's fate remained shrouded in mystery, a puzzle with too many missing pieces. The case, like so many others involving missing hitchhikers, went cold, becoming another unsolved disappearance. Theories swirled. Had she run away to start a new life? Was she trying to escape something? Had she fallen victim to a chance encounter with a predator on the open road, a danger all too common for hitchhikers? Or was there a more sinister, more calculated plot at play, something far more nefarious than anyone could imagine? Years later, a woman claiming to be Mary contacted her family, sparking a brief moment of hope, but the reunion proved to be a cruel hoax, adding to the family's anguish. The real Mary, if she was even still alive, remained an enigma, lost in the labyrinth of the unknown, a ghost in the annals of unsolved mysteries. We have 3 more tales of hitchhiking horror to uncover, each one more unsettling than the last, each one a chilling reminder of the dangers that lurk on the open road.
Our next story takes us to the West Coast, to the year 1977, a time when hitchhiking was a common mode of travel for many young adventurers. Colleen Stan, a bright and adventurous 23-year-old, was hitchhiking from her home in Oregon to a friend's wedding in California. She was full of life and excitement, looking forward to the journey ahead. Little did she know, this seemingly ordinary decision would plunge her into a nightmare that would last for years, altering the course of her life forever. Picture this: Colleen, standing on the side of the road, her thumb outstretched, the California sun warm on her skin. She was hopeful, trusting, and completely unaware of the impending danger. A seemingly normal couple, Cameron Hooker and his wife Janice, pulled over in their blue van, offering her a ride. They appeared friendly and harmless, the kind of people you wouldn't think twice about accepting help from. Colleen, trusting and unaware of the danger that lurked beneath their friendly facade, accepted their offer. She had no reason to suspect that this decision would lead to years of torment. This, my friends, was the moment Colleen's nightmare began. A simple act of trust turned into a harrowing ordeal. Miles down the road, Cameron, driven by his twisted desires, detoured onto a secluded logging road. The isolation of the area added to the terror that was about to unfold. There, in the shadows of the towering trees, he brandished a knife, threatening Colleen's life and transforming her from a willing passenger to a terrified captive. The forest, once a place of beauty, became a prison. Colleen was bound, gagged, and forced into a coffin-like box that Cameron had meticulously crafted. This box, designed to confine and control, became her new reality. This box, her prison within a prison, was kept under the couple's bed. It was a place of unimaginable horror and despair, hidden from the world. For the next 7 years, Colleen endured unimaginable horrors at the hands of her captors. Each day was a struggle for survival, a test of her will and spirit. Cameron, driven by his sadistic fantasies, subjected her to relentless physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. His cruelty knew no bounds, and Colleen's suffering seemed endless. Janice, complicit in her husband's depravity, became an active participant in Colleen's torment. Her betrayal added another layer of pain to Colleen's already unbearable situation. Colleen, stripped of her freedom and dignity, clung to the hope of escape. Despite the overwhelming odds, she never gave up on the possibility of freedom. And then, in a twist of fate, a glimmer of light pierced the darkness. A small but significant change began to unfold. Janice, consumed by guilt and fear of her husband, had a change of heart. Her conscience could no longer bear the weight of their actions. She revealed the horrifying truth to Colleen and helped her escape. This act of courage and compassion brought an end to Colleen's years of suffering. Colleen's story is a testament to the power of resilience and the human spirit. Her strength and determination in the face of unimaginable adversity continue to inspire us all.
Chapter 3: The Highway Phantom, the Unsolved Murder of Susan Jaeger. Our journey into the dark heart of hitchhiking horror takes us now to the desolate highways of Wyoming, where the vast emptiness of the landscape mirrors the chilling mystery surrounding the murder of 18-year-old Susan Jaeger. It was the spring of 1981 when Susan, a free spirit with a contagious laugh, embarked on a hitchhiking adventure across the country. She dreamed of exploring new horizons, of embracing the unknown with open arms. But her journey, filled with so much promise, would be cut tragically short. On April 15th, Susan was last seen alive on a highway outside of Rawlins, Wyoming. She was heading east, her thumb outstretched, her backpack filled with dreams. A truck driver, who had given her a lift earlier that day, reported dropping her off at a truck stop where she planned to catch another ride. That, my friends, was the last confirmed sighting of Susan Jaeger. Days later, her body was discovered by a group of hunters in a remote ravine, miles from where she was last seen. The discovery sent shockwaves through the small town of Rawlins and beyond, transforming the young adventurer's story into a chilling reminder of the dark side of the open road. The investigation revealed a gruesome truth. Susan had been brutally murdered. Despite the tireless efforts of law enforcement, the case grew cold, the killer remaining elusive.
Chapter 4: Terror in the Backseat. Timothy Bindner's Close Call. Our final story takes us to the rural roads of Wisconsin, where a chance encounter with a hitchhiker would leave Timothy Bindner forever marked by the chilling realization that even the most ordinary of days can spiral into a fight for survival. This encounter would test his courage and instincts in ways he never imagined. It was a cold winter evening in 1982, when Timothy, a kind-hearted soul with a penchant for helping those in need, spotted a young man stranded on the side of the road. The snow was falling heavily, and the temperature was dropping rapidly. The hitchhiker, bundled up against the biting wind, looked harmless enough. His face etched with a mixture of desperation and relief when Timothy pulled over to offer him a ride. Little did Timothy know this seemingly innocent act of kindness would soon turn into a nightmare. As they drove, Timothy tried to strike up a conversation to break the ice and make his passenger feel more at ease. But something felt off. The hitchhiker's responses were curt, almost as if he was hiding something. The hitchhiker's responses were short, his eyes darting nervously around the car, as if he were searching for an escape route. Timothy noticed the young man's hands trembling slightly, adding to his growing unease. Timothy, his gut instinct screaming at him that something was wrong, tried to ignore the growing sense of unease that had settled over him. He kept telling himself that he was overreacting, that the young man was just cold and anxious. He told himself he was being paranoid, that the young man was just shy or nervous. But the feeling of dread continued to gnaw at him, refusing to be silenced. But deep down, a primal fear began to stir within him. It was an instinctual response, a warning that something terrible was about to happen. Suddenly, the hitchhiker's demeanor shifted. His body language changed, becoming more aggressive and threatening. The nervous energy that had crackled around him vanished, replaced by a chilling calmness that sent shivers down Timothy's spine. The air in the car grew thick with tension. He reached into his coat pocket, his hand emerging with a glint of metal that caught the dim light of the dashboard. A knife. The sight of the weapon made Timothy's heart race, long, serrated, and glinting menacingly in the dim light. It was clear that the hitchhiker had sinister intentions. "Pull over," the hitchhiker hissed, his voice cold and devoid of emotion. "Now!" The command was chilling, leaving no room for negotiation. Timothy, adrenaline surging through his veins, knew he had to act fast. His mind raced as he considered his options. He slammed his foot on the gas pedal, sending the car lurching forward, the tires screaming in protest as he swerved to avoid an oncoming truck. The sudden acceleration caught the hitchhiker off guard. The hitchhiker, caught off guard by Timothy's sudden burst of defiance, lurched forward, the knife clattering to the floor of the car. The sound of the knife hitting the floor was a small victory for Timothy. A struggle ensued, a desperate battle for survival within the confines of the speeding vehicle. Timothy fought with every ounce of strength he had, determined to survive this terrifying ordeal.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe for more true horror stories. Until next time, remember, not all who wander are lost, but some are better left unfound.